Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Secondhand English, the podcast that makes learning English part of your daily life. I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm Mia. We're so glad you're here. Today, we're taking you on a journey through a very common experience for many people around the world, a typical day at the office.
We'll walk you through a workday from start to finish, talking about everything from handling emails and attending meetings to taking breaks and finishing your day. And you'll see that a typical day can look very different depending on your job.
That's right. My day is very structured, almost like a manager's schedule. It's often filled with back-to-back meetings and a lot of team coordination. Alex's day, on the other hand, is a bit more flexible and creative.
Exactly. This will be a great way for you to learn lots of common office vocabulary and idioms. So let's start at the beginning of the day, arriving at the office. Mia, what's the first thing you do when you get in?
Well, after I put my things at my desk, the very first stop is the kitchen for a cup of tea. Then I head back to my computer to get settled. My first 30 minutes are crucial. I don't respond to anything yet. I just review my calendar for the day, look at my to-do list, and quickly scan my inbox to prioritize the most urgent emails.
That sounds very organized. My routine is a bit more social. I also start with a coffee, but on my way to my desk, I'll usually stop and chat with a few colleagues to catch up on what happened yesterday. Once I'm at my desk, I'll spend a few minutes reading the news before I even open my email. I like to ease into my day.
I wish I could ease into mine. Usually, I have a meeting ready to kick off at 9 a.m. sharp. So before that meeting, I need to read the agenda and prepare my talking points. So my morning is very focused from the moment I sit down.
My email time is more about responding to questions from the day before and figuring out what my main creative task for the day will be. I try to block out a few hours on my calendar for focus work later on.
This is a perfect place for our first vocabulary glossary. We've used some excellent office-related words and phrases already.
Our first phrasal verb is to catch up on. This means to do something you did not have time to do earlier, or to learn about recent news. For example, I need to catch up on my emails after my vacation.
Next, to get settled. This means to get comfortable in a new place or situation, like at your desk at the beginning of the day. For example, it takes me a few minutes to get settled and start working.
Next is to kick off. This is a phrasal verb that means to begin something, like a meeting or a project. For example, let's kick off the meeting with a review of last week's sales.
And finally, agenda. An agenda is a list of topics to be discussed at a meeting. For example, did you receive the agenda for tomorrow's meeting?
Okay, so the morning is underway. For you, Mia, that means meetings, meetings, meetings. What does that look like?
Yes, my morning is often a series of meetings. For example, I might have a project check-in with my team, then a one-on-one with my boss, and then a call with a client. In these meetings, my goal is to make sure everyone is on the same page and has what they need to do their work.
My morning is very different. I might have one short team meeting, a stand-up, just to share quick updates. After that, I usually have a collaborative session with a designer or writer. We'll brainstorm ideas or review work together. It's much less formal than a big meeting.
So while I'm coordinating, you're creating. It makes sense. Then comes noon, and hopefully a lunch break. How do you handle your lunch, Alex?
I am a firm believer in a real lunch break. I need to take a break from my screen to recharge my creative energy. I'll either eat a packed lunch with colleagues in the break room, or we'll go out to a nearby cafe. That hour away from my desk is very important for my afternoon productivity.
I envy that because my schedule is so packed, I often have a working lunch. I'll eat a salad at my desk while I'm catching up on those emails I couldn't get to in the morning. I know it's not ideal, but some days it's the only way to get everything done.
I understand that. It's a busy world. So after lunch, what's the afternoon look like? For me, the afternoon is my golden time. It's when I do my heads down work. I put on my headphones, turn off my notifications, and focus completely on a single task, like writing a script or editing a video.
My afternoon is usually more of the same, more meetings, but they are often more focused on planning for the future, like strategy sessions or budget reviews. It's a lot of thinking and talking.
Let's pause right there. That was a big chunk of the day, so it's time for our second vocabulary glossary.
Our first phrase is on the same page. This is a very common idiom in the workplace. It means that a group of people understand and agree on a situation or plan. For example, before we start, let's make sure we are all on the same page.
Next, to take a break. This simply means to stop working for a short period to rest, relax, or eat. For example, I've been working for 3 hours. I need to take a break.
And finally, heads down work. This term describes a period of deep, focused work without any interruptions or distractions. For example, I need 2 hours of heads down work to finish this report.
Okay, we've made it through the afternoon. The clock is ticking towards 5 o'clock. How do you finish your workday, Mia?
The last 30 minutes of my day are all about preparation for tomorrow. I wrap up my final tasks, and then I send out any necessary follow-up emails from the day's meetings. Then I make my to-do list for the next morning so I can start the day with a clear plan.
That's very proactive. My end-of-day routine is more about winding down. I'll make sure all my work for the day is saved and submitted. I'll spend a few minutes tidying my desk so it's clean for the morning. Before I leave, I'll say goodbye to my team members.
That's important for team morale. Once I've planned my next day, I close all my tabs and then I sign off completely. That means I close my laptop and I do not check my email again until the next morning. It's important to have a clear separation between work and personal time.
I completely agree. When the workday's done, it's done. And with that, let's do our third and final vocabulary glossary.
Our first phrasal verb is to wrap up. This means to finish or complete something. For example, let's try to wrap up this project by Friday.
Next, follow-up. As a noun, a follow-up is an action that continues something that has already started. A follow-up email is an email sent to continue a conversation. For example, I sent a follow-up email to confirm the details.
And our final phrasal verb is to sign off. This means to stop working for the day. It can also mean to log out of your computer or email account. For example, I usually sign off around 5:30.
And that is a full day at the office, from the manager's perspective and the creative's perspective.
We hope this detailed look at our different workdays has given you lots of practical language you can use in your own professional life.
Try to notice these phrases being used around you at work and see if you can use 1 or 2 of them yourself this week.
That's all the time we have for today's episode of Secondhand English. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye, everyone, and have a productive day.